Okay, welcome everybody. It is April 14th, 2021, and we are here with the Starch Lady, Dr. Rowe. I wanted to review real quick. Somebody asked me this morning if I was a doctor. I think it was Melanie, in fact. And I am. I'm a naturopathic doctor. My actual title is Doctor of Naturopathy. You know, instead of MD after my name, it's ND for naturopathic doctor. And so that's my credentials. I've been recently asked to teach the microscopic blood health classes at the college that I graduated from. And there's another college that's accredited that's kind of entertaining the idea. And I'm really excited about that opportunity as well. So I specialize in microscopic blood health, urine. I get clients that send me gifts of poop emojis because they're pooping for the first time in their life with ease. And let's see, I do reflexology, I do iridology, I do custom Bach flowers, hydration and nutrition. I'm kind of your one-stop all. If you've got any kind of health conditions, I can pretty much gear you into the healthier option. And it's always going to deal with hydration and food. Gina can tell you, I'm like, you know, narrow-minded when it comes to like that. I have literally like 5 things in my clinic that I would even offer to sell people. And it's most of those are essential oils. And I only carry 5 of those. There's only 5 out of the hundreds that are available that I even, you know, carry on a regular basis because I think that's all we need. I mean, they pretty much cover everything from pain using frankincense to, you know, dealing with this virus and any other bacterial, fungal, or viral infection by using oregano essential oil, things like that. So I'm very simple. Okay, enough about me there. Let's get started. And it looks like we've got someone else here. There we go. Okay, so what we normally do when we first get started in our weekly lunch meet and eats. Hi, Debbie. We start at the top, and Sharon's up in the top here, and I literally did not recognize Sharon. I've known Sharon now for a few years. We were in the Holistic Chamber of Commerce together, and she had started eating this way. She lives in Arizona now. She left me in Texas, and she went to Arizona. But that's okay. I know how to travel, and we get to see her every summer. We do house calls every June and July. My husband and I travel. We prefer to go by train. We've done that the last couple of years, where we go on the train to each of the states and visit the clients that I need to see for health and do a house call. Or we have a water company as well. We specialize in alkaline antioxidant water. And so my husband changes the filters while I do the house consult. And we just keep going across the nation. So every year, whether Sharon likes it or not, she gets to be visited by me. And it's like my little secret passageway to be able to get to stay in touch and love on some of my clients. And they all become family. You guys are my buddies, my pals, my comrades. It's family. You're family to me now. So, but she popped on today and I didn't recognize her. And I was like, what? So you missed it on the video, but she did give us a fashion show and we got to see the waist. Oh my gosh, she's got the waist going on. So pretty excited about that. Okay. All right. So we're going to start in the top left-hand corner on the screen here, which is Sharon. I'd like you to tell us a little bit about you. And what we normally talk about is what we're eating, because we're usually doing this during lunch. But I know for people on the West Coast, they're like between meals. But we like to talk about what we're eating and anything that we've learned specific about the program or any special tips you want to give us. So go, Sharon.
Okay. When I started this, Ro has been twisting my arm for many years to eat more vegetables, and I am a person who does not like vegetables. But last July, I decided I would start eating vegetables and salad. And then when I moved here on October 1st, Ro was doing a lot of stuff about Dr. McDougall. So I got the book and I started reading, and then she showed a couple of videos. So in July, when I started, I was at the highest weight I've ever been at, 260. When I moved to Arizona, I was at 245, 246. Since I started on McDougall diet, and I'm not perfect by any means, and I've had a lot of stress, but I have to tell you, once I got on McDougall's life-changing plan, I never binge ate, or when I had horrendous stuff going on, I'm not even going to go into it, but trust me, I would have eaten out a Hostess Twinkie display or whatever, and I never even was tempted. I never ate junk. I never, I just ate what I had in the house, and I'm now at 219. So,
way to go. Oh, yay.
I know I'm doing it slower.
Somebody's
what's
got a
really
phone in the
cool-
background there. Okay,
Yeah, I just got it off.
Oh, it's yours. Okay, okay, go ahead. So you just did what now?
So I'm doing it a little bit slower, but I'm basically eating potatoes. But seeing all your guys' recipes, I'm not a cook. And for the first 4 months I lived here, I bought an air fryer, but I had an air fryer and I had a toaster oven. And I'm not a cook. I didn't have any I had 1 fork, 1 knife, 1 spoon, no pots, no pans. So everything I do, and I know you're not supposed to, but is processed food. So I buy the hash browns and the hash brown patties, frozen vegetables, and basically I have been vegetables and potatoes.
Oh, that's great. That's kind of like a Mary's Mini without even thinking you're doing a Mary's Mini with potatoes as your starch. So you're gonna love today's guest speaker.
Then I got the recipe for Mary's potato chowder. So I do that, and then I use the potato chowder like if I want a sauce. I just really blend up the potato chowder, and that's my creamy sauce.
All right. Okay. I saw that on a post yesterday that you had, and it's like, I have got to make some of that Mary's chowder. That sounds really good. So briefly, what's in it? Just, can you do it off the top of your head?
6 cups of hash browns, of frozen hash browns, 2 cups of rice milk or soy milk, and basically that's it. But what I usually do is throw in some broccoli and cilantro, salsa. And you cook the hash browns and the water for 20 minutes. Then I think you add in the 2 cups of milk, and then you throw 3 cups of that into a processor or a blender, blend it really good, and then throw it back into the pan and heat for another 10 minutes.
So that 3 cups you pulled out and blended makes it a creamy to the chowder.
Makes it very creamy. Yes.
That's amazing. And throwing it in there with the broccoli is a brilliant idea. It sounds like such a delicious broccoli chowder addition.
And then I add the cilantro salsa, so you have a little bit of spice in there, just a little zing.
You can take the girl out of Texas, but you can't take the Texas out of the girl. So there.
But anyway, that's it in a nutshell.
I love it. That's awesome. Well, that is fantastic. I cannot wait to wrap my arms further around you when I see you in June. I think we're heading out. Honey, aren't we going in June? We're leaving. Yeah, I think we're heading west in June this year instead of east to west. We're going west to east this year. So
okay. So you won't have to hug and chalk and hug to get around me.
That's too funny. That's too funny. Oh, I love it. I can't wait to see you. If anybody else wants to get on my national tour schedule, we stop in towns that we're doing filter changes in. So if you're in a town that I'm doing filter changes in, or if you need a alkaline antioxidant water system or something like that, or if you want me to stop and do your blood or something, get on my list. It's like my national tour, I guess you can say. Okay, Mama Gina, tell us about your food and what you're eating. You You slim thing, you. She lost 2 more pounds. If you've been on the Facebook group today, she lost 2 more pounds. So we're really excited. Tell us about it, Gina.
Okay, if you want to do a little bit of background, because not everybody knows my story, I started October 20th, so I'm approaching 6 months. And as of this morning, I've lost 35 pounds. About close to 50 inches off my body.
How much? How many inches?
Close to 50.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. We were showing last week, if you go back and watch, is it last week's video or the one before? We went and found her before and after on a little challenge she was doing, and she was wearing this same exercise suit. And then the first one, it's like skin tight on her. On the second one, it's like bagging, and you can see the pleats hanging down, and she's got the waist going on, and we're just real proud of her. But if you go back into the Facebook group, just hit on the topic that says inspiration, and you'll see, you scroll down and you'll find it. So what else, Gina?
So today for lunch, I'm doing a recipe that I got emailed to me last night from Forks Over Knives. It's for stuffed poblano peppers.
Oh,
And it's really good.
are you in Texas?
No, but I wish I was.
Look at that. What's inside of it?
Okay, so inside of it is mushrooms, onions, chickpeas, and it calls for regular potatoes, but I did mashed potatoes and lots of different spices. You mix it all together and then stuff it in a roasted poblano, and then I've sprinkled a little nutritional yeast on top, and then I got some tomatoes sliced up.
Nice. It looks absolutely yummy. What I like about poblano peppers is they are not too hot. They've got just an incredible amount of flavor without the burn. That's what I really like about them. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, looks like we lost Diane LeBlue, so we're going to come back to her in a minute. Bonnie, my daughter's name's Bonnie. I hope she's watching this. Hopefully she'll pop on here a little bit. But I named my daughter Bonnie, so I love that name. It makes beautiful.
I just posted Mary's chowder, potato chowder in the chat. I looked it up. There's the recipe. It's in the chat.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Yeah, for those that don't know, if you click on the little chat button, if you hover down the bottom, it'll be a little chat button. When you pop it up, your side screen will pop up. And then right above where it says you can type a message at the bottom, it'll say to, then everyone, and then to the far right, it should say file and have 3 little dots next to that. If you click on the 3 little dots, it'll let you say, it'll let you save the chat at the top. Okay, so very, very cool. Thank you for doing that for us. I appreciate it. Excellent. Okay. All right, so Gina, you have your box that's coming to you. So let me know what you think when it gets there. Okay, so Bonnie, what are you having today? What did you eat today? And tell us a couple of little tidbits. I know we were chatting about an hour ago on Are There Talking. I'd like you to share some of that with us here if you could. So
yeah, well, I started out with my green drink that I told you about this morning. And then I'll eat my oatmeal because I haven't had my oatmeal and I always eat that every day. But what I like are the Yukon Gold potatoes, just lightly cooked, not real mushy. And then I like to put the no nut cheese sauce over those and then throw mixed vegetables on the plate. So that's probably what I'll eat later on.
that's excellent, excellent, excellent. We were talking on the previous group today about one of the guys that's pretty popular on YouTube that his name's Dylan, and he has Well Your World. And I didn't know until Gina posted yesterday. She posted a, I think it's 5 super, super, super quick meal ideas on, and you'll see that if you go to the Facebook page, group page, which is The Starch Lady, just search The Starch Lady and it'll pop up. But on that group, she posted this 5 super, super fast meals, and it was by Dylan and his wife, and Reebs, he calls her. And I think it's Rebo, she calls her Reebs. Anyways, I did not know that the reason why he hadn't been doing any live cooking shows for the last little bit, and he confessed it was like a year, because he has taken this last year to develop and get on market some what he calls SOS, whole food plant-based meal options for you. SOS meaning no sugar, no oil, no salt. And so he has a cheese sauce in a container. You just add water to and you've got cheese sauce. He's got, it's made out of all whole food stuff. He's got seasonings. He's got salad dressings. He's got his whole personal line of Well Your World that he's marketing. And so I reached out to him and asked him to be a guest speaker, one of our mystery guests coming up. I'm hoping he'll reply and see if we can do some marketing together, because I'd love to carry all of his products in my clinic, which is inside of a pharmacy that's like a little store in the front. So I would love to do that. So I'm anxious to try that. And I think one of the girls that was on the group has tried some of those powders for like the cheese sauce and stuff, because it has no sugar, no oil, no salt. I mean, that's like as if you'd made it yourself. It's just freeze-dried powder you add water to. So that's handy dandy. Okay, cool beans. All right, so moving on, Diane's back. Okay, Diane LeBeau, how do you say that, LeBeau?
LeBeau, yes.
Diane lives in Austin. That's like 70 miles from me. So we are totally hooking up and doing lunch at her favorite restaurant on the 24th of this month. I can't wait. So tell us a little bit about you, Diane, and how your week's going and your favorite restaurant, whatever you want to talk about for a minute.
Life is beautiful. Things are going very well. I'm healthier than ever. Have no pain, no complaints.
You were in one of the original McDougall programs, weren't you?
Yes, I've been to a couple of the 10-day live-in programs. And my high weight point was 265. I was in the August program, the first of the video programs. And at that point, I was 215. I've now lost, I guess, almost 25 pounds since that time.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm getting there.
And how are you feeling compared to the way you were and compared to now? How is your health?
I'm feeling absolutely wonderful. I used to have pain walking. I had pain in my knee, or it would change. Sometimes it would be my foot or my hip. I have no pain, none at all. And I have tons more energy. I do focus on not only the food, but the sleep. I make a point to get 8 hours at night. I'm older. I'm 78 years old. So
78 years young.
So sometimes I add a few extra hours of sleep in there just because I kind of like to lie in bed. I do take a nap in the day, and I'm trying to phase out of that. So instead of lying down now, I just kind of doze off at my desk. And
we've caught you doing that a couple of times, so I'm just mentioning that.
Yeah.
Don't tell. Everybody talk quiet. Diane's sleeping.
Yep, that's me.
Oh, that's great. So what did you eat for breakfast this morning?
I had pasta with my own arrabbiata. Am I pronouncing that right? Arrabbiata sauce. It's on Mary's app. I use the app a lot.
I got the app right at the end of the 12-day program, and I'm like going, where has this been my whole life? Because when you find a recipe you like, you can hit the star and save it as your favorite. It was only $4.99. It's yours forever for $4.99. And then when you go through the recipe, if you don't have that item, you tap on it and it adds it to a shopping list.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's just a wonderful app. When I wake up in the morning and I'm thinking about what I might like to have to eat, I will go to the app it organizes all of my recipes. I do use other recipes, but I focus primarily on things that come from Mary's app, or I just make up my own recipes, like, which is usually just throwing together some things.
That's
It's
awesome. I
fine
love
with
it.
me, but I'm glad I don't have to please anybody else. I
Oh,
just
that's
only have to
awesome.
please myself, so that
Well,
makes it
good.
very workable.
Awesome. Well, let's pop down here to Diane Rowland. How are you today?
I am doing well. I've been very busy all morning.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about how your week's been going and what you've been eating lately. If there's anything exciting you'd like to share.
Well, I was out of town all last week, which is a culinary disaster. So I've been trying to recoup from that.
It can be. Eating out and traveling is the hardest. My husband got on a kick on one of our trips. He literally stopped at Whole Foods on the way out of town, grabbed an organic cabbage, whipped out his pocket knife. I don't want to know how many germs are on that pocket knife. It's been in his pocket for a million years. But he whacked up that piece of that giant cabbage, and we ate it like popcorn in the car driving around. I thought it was pretty fun. So,
Whoa.
yeah.
Yeah.
So tips for the future. So what else happened?
Well, one of my problems is a fellow I'm dating doesn't eat the way I do. So that's another complication to the whole thing. When he's at my house, he'll eat what I make, but when we go out anyway. Let's see, what else can I tell you? I live near Cincinnati, Ohio. I have 5 rescue dogs.
Nice.
Trying to get back on track. I had a green smoothie for breakfast, which is what I have most days, which consists of whatever greens I have in the refrigerator and frozen berries. And if I have bananas, I'll throw a banana in it and whip it up in the Vitamix. And that's what I have pretty much every day.
Okay. Yeah, we were talking on the other call today about, the McDougall program itself isn't into juices or smoothies and blending the food, but sometimes it's important, and we're getting the whole food in there. Me personally, this is Dr. Rowe personal, not McDougall personal, but I don't have a problem with smoothies because you're going to chew it to liquid and swallow it. You might as well let the blender do some of that work for you and get those nutrients and all the fiber. I literally sold my juicer. In fact, Beth bought my juicer. Where is Beth? Gina, can you tap Beth and find her happy little self? Maybe she's at the zoo with the grandkids again. Beth is my assistant on this group, and she's lost over 80 pounds. I think it's 92 pounds. She's 108, down from 204. And I can't do the math, whatever that was. And she started doing the program with us at 178. And she's down 70 pounds just from doing McDougall since last June. When I went on my road trip tour last year, she started with me, and I was just doing a chat with her to keep her, focused while I was gone. And then by the time I got to Indiana, I added Leah and her mom, Terry. So then there was 4 of us on the chat. And by the time I got through New Orleans, I'd added a few more and around the globe. And it got to be 33 people in this chat group. Well, when you got 33 people in a Facebook chat group, by the time you go up to find that recipe somebody posted last week, you got to scroll for like a mile. And so that's why we started the StarchLady group in October, was to be able to get more people involved. And now there's over 300. So that's how that kind of got started. So, but yeah, being able to do all this, it's been a blast. It really, really has. So,
yeah, I did the first McDougall online group with Diane.
So that was in August. Is that when that was?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's August. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I thought that was great. I didn't want to travel to California to do it because I don't like traveling by myself. So it was great to be able to do it sitting here.
Yes. And the thing that I missed in ours when we did it in January was this group thing. And so when we started fussing about it a little bit, and then they started saying that Diane and your group had started a little group, so that was how that kind of all evolved. But I love the fact that we can get together and have this friendship and relationship build, because we're able to continue the journey. I need accountability. It's like working out from home. If nobody's home, I might watch that video instead of participate with that video. So, and if I don't have time to go to the gym, it's like, you know, maybe that didn't happen. I can wear the exercise clothes all day. I'm in them now, but does that mean I'm going to get sweaty today? I don't know. We'll have to cross our fingers and hope that happens. So, any other little tidbits you want to share with us, Diane?
No, I think that pretty much does. I did get my 45-minute walk in this morning, so I'm doing good.
There you go. There you go.
Yay.
I'm
Good.
going to have to do that. I really am. All right. Sam, I see your ceiling. Are you in the position to tell us what you're whipping up there in the kitchen?
I'm here, because I have such a tiny kitchen. Okay, I am like, I can't remember which one, who, but I don't like to cook. My cooking is microwave and frozen things like the vegetables. And yes, I'm gonna eat it right at my table because you know, cans of green beans, mashed potatoes, which was, and here you go. So I made mashed potatoes this morning, or well, what I call this morning, half an hour ago. And then we're gonna have the veggies with it. But we had spoke, I think it was last week, the call last week, or the video last week. You know, remember Summer, my daughter, who has been kind of doing this. I mean, I'm cooking for her every day. But then if she goes away, she cheats. But you know,
She's doing part of it. Each meal counts.
Yeah. So anyway, we had talked about, she eats ranch on everything. Ranch is not acceptable, but you had said to make this, right?
Does it have dairy in it? It
That's-
doesn't. I think it's seasonings, and unless you add the dairy, but I was going to mix it with like diluted mashed potatoes or something and use it. What'd you do?
What I did with the potatoes, I put, well, actually, I had put the potatoes, you know, cooked potatoes. I was cooking them, and then when I started stirring, I was like, oh crap, now they're mashed potatoes. Because they were, you know, so cooked in the microwave. But I was cooking the potatoes to be able to put in the blender with this, and a cup of cooked potatoes instead of the mayonnaise, and
Right.
a cup of milk, the almond milk, and then this says ingredients, something, I don't know what, and this says buttermilk.
So it has buttermilk powder in it?
However, how do you have buttermilk when it has 0 calories, 0 fat, 0 carbs, 0 protein? How does that, it's for you and I.
How far down on the ingredients list is the word buttermilk?
It's the second thing.
So it's a buttermilk powder. I wonder if it's like the PB2, where it's the extraction from the buttermilk and not the full fat. But serving size is what, a tablespoon?
Serving size is 1/4 teaspoon. But
that's why they're getting away with the 0. So 1/4 teaspoon, you know how small that is, right? It's about the size of your pinky fingernail.
right.
You need to watch that Jeff Novak video.
Yeah, Jeff Novak will tell you how they hid that in there.
I did watch that, but yeah.
So I think for the ranch dressing flavor, you could probably do it with the diluted mashed potatoes, a little bit of garlic. I'm thinking a little bit of lemon, maybe a pinch of vinegar to give it that kind of spice flavor. What other ingredients are on there? What other spices are on there? Anything?
It's garlic, onion, spices.
So all of those spices, but with that little bit of twinge that you get having buttermilk, and buttermilk can be created by adding lemon to milk, right? You could add lemon to your almond milk and let it sit, and several hours later it would have a taste of buttermilk to it. So maybe that's all that you'd need to add to make one that's more healthy. But in the meantime, that's going to be a little bit better than the ones you buy at the store that have not only the buttermilk ingredient, but they've got oil, usually a bad oil in there to make it thick and creamy. So you're making it thick and creamy without the mayonnaise by substituting the potatoes and so on and so forth. So I think you're on the right track, and you'll find something that works for, you know, at some point. So how'd she like that?
Well, this definitely goes against whole food, plant-based, you know.
Yeah.
With but if it's the only way she will eat the veggies, I think it's fine.
Yeah, well, it's like Dr. McDougall always says, even with the little bit of salt on top or the little bit of sugar, he says, if you have to put brown sugar on your oatmeal to get it in you, do it, you know? So I'm on that, you know? So, and I think when you don't cook with salt, because if you cook with salt, then you just keep adding more and more and more. But if you don't cook with salt, but you have that little sprinkle on top, and I think it was last week or the week before we talked about electrolytes and our bodies, our brains need for electrolytes, our hearts need for electrolytes, and those come from salt and water. And if you completely remove salt completely from your diet, again, back to the Dr. Rowe technique here, I actually teach a salt therapy for older clients that are getting short-term memory. Myself, I had short-term memory so bad when I had a house full of teenagers that they'd whisper to each other, go ahead and do it. She won't remember in 5 minutes, you know, because it was that bad. And, but we are electric. We run on water and salt, and you can prove that by tasting your tears, your boogers, if you're so inclined, your sweat, your perspiration. We are salty people. And if we're not getting the right amount of salt in our diet to be able to help create that, it will create its own salt. And the only way it can do that is by stealing minerals from your bones and organs and things to create that, to be able to have that firing piston for your heart and your brain. So I'm all about sprinkling the colored salt. Repeat after me, everybody. Colored salt, no white salt. White salt is like worse than white flour. So, hi, honey. He's sneaking past in his little skinny self. He's lost 45 pounds. And so, yeah, you need that little bit of colored salt. White salt is, they've tested over, I think, 400 samples, if I can remember the research I read, over 400 samples of like the Morton salts in the little umbrella box across the nation. And they tested to be on average 1/3 sand, 1/3 glass. And you're going, how did they get glass in the salt? Well, anytime you get salt from an open source, it's near water, right? Lightning hits. And lightning is like what, 1700 gigawatts or something like that. So, you know, it's like 1700 degrees, and it hits that sand and forms glass. And I might have used this reference before, but there's a movie with, what's that actor's name, honey? With Sandra Bullock. It's called Hope Floats. And he's a craftsman, and his craft, his little gift shop at the ocean, is he puts lightning rods down into the sand when it's going to get stormy, so the lightning will strike those lightning rods, and it shoots down that rod, and the heat in the sand forms these unique shapes of glass, and then he polishes them off and puts them on his shelf and sells them for 65 bucks. You know, brilliant. But we don't want salt, and we don't want glass and sand ground up into our salt. So the salt that I recommend if we're doing salt is called real salt, and you can get it all across the nation. It comes from an underground cave downwind or upwind somewhere from the Great Salt Lake that's in the center of Utah, that ocean that just happens to be in the middle of the United States. And it is so pristine that they can go in there and scrape that new salt crystals off into the bag. And it's also been tested to show over 55 other trace minerals in there, not just sodium. And it seals the bag, and those bags don't even see sunlight until they're going up out of the cave to the truck to go to your local store. And so it's very pristine, and there's no glass. And it's crystals scraped off the cave. It's a vertical, horizontal, more of a vertical thingy. So there's no sand getting in there. Very pristine. So that's a preference. So
Okay.
you got the right track.
So talking about colored salt, I do the pink salt. And after, months of pink salt going broke because it's so expensive, I finally found, yeah, well, for me, it is.
Okay.
I'm on a different kind of budget than you are, but
Doubt it, but okay, go ahead. Sam and I have known each other forever, so we had babies together, so we've known each other a long time.
I found a year or so ago where to buy cheap pink salt.
Oh, good.
And this is, $5.
Oh, cool.
$4.99. It's the original salt company, pink Himalayan salt.
There you go.
Actually, it's always a different kind, but it's at Ross. Ross for less has food and stuff, and you can always find
Some kind of a pink salt.
different containers of pink salt, and
Okay.
you use, $4 or $5 for a ton. So
Well, any color except white, I am totally down with. I even had a client bring me black salt from, it's a Hawaiian volcano salt. It was actually sweet, surprisingly. And, but there's green, there's tan, there's orange, there's blue, there's turquoise, there's peach. I mean, all these different colors have more benefit to you than any kind of white salt. There are no white sand lots unless you're stealing sand from Aruba. So we don't even want to ask how they got it white. All right, moving on to Canada. Caroline, tell us about you and your life here. What's going on? Love your recipes, girl. You've been going crazy with some good stuff.
Oh, yes. Sir. Today's still pretty simple. I've got my vegetable soup as a preload. Today I have brown rice, Brussels sprouts, green beans for my lunch here.
Nice.
I've been doing pretty good with not eating after 7. In the first couple of days I was trying it, I tend to get a bit of a headache. So I think I just have to make sure my supper is pretty filling. And the other thing that Gina had recommended is maybe trying to eat a little bit later, like 6:30.
To
That does help
before
too.
7.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you have to have something, if you're trying to cut off the digestion at 7, because as we talked about, our digestive system, we don't have it pinpointed, but in the health community that I live in anyways, it has been determined there's different documentations to verify that the digestive system kind of goes to sleep sometime after 7 o'clock. We can't pinpoint what. So eating large digestible meals after 7 o'clock, maybe not the best idea, but that would be a great time if you needed something later to do, like that smoothie that Bonnie does. Did Bonnie disappear? Oh, there she is. That Bonnie does, or some soup, some broth, water for sure. And if you're not going to bed until 10, about 7, 8 o'clock is the last that I try to get a big old, 16 or 32 ounce glasses of water in, because I want to make sure that my bladder's good and dry so that I can go to sleep and not have to wake up. So that would be something to do too, to help you get through that little pinch. Okay, that's excellent. So Caroline works in a retirement home. And so she is, we've talked about trying to make an influence on the food that they serve the patients there. And when you're working with an establishment like that, it's difficult. When my husband was in the hospital, I was just so frustrated with the dietitians. I'm glad I couldn't figure out where in the hospital they were. I might have gone and choked a few people, but you know, they don't even try at the hospitals to, they call it nutrition. They send those gals and guys off to become registered dietitians, and they think they know everything. And all they're taught is what the medical colleges teach them, just like the medical doctors. They're not taught about nutrition. And why would they teach them to eat potatoes and rice and vegetables? They're not going to make any money doing that. But if we can load them up with the greasiest meatloaf and butter slathered dripping off the plate, corn and broccoli and asparagus. I mean, how do you get butter to stick to asparagus? You just let it swim in it and then call that healthy, because they want you to come back to that cardiac unit. You know, it's like a double-edged sword. So anyways, we'll stop talking bad about your employers. So they may be listening in the background. So, okay, so we've talked to Sharon and Diane and Sam and Caroline and Mama Gina and Diana LeBeau and Bonnie. Down at the bottom, I keep seeing an iPad. That's Melanie. Melanie, can you talk at all? Melanie.
Sorry, I'm busy running around, so.
No worries, I know you're busy, and so just real quick, just say hi, and if you have any tips or tell us what you are munching on today.
Well, it's not quite lunchtime here for me. I'm in Alberta. So I had breakfast just a little while ago, and I ended up only having, I try to stick to the 50-50. So I had like a half a plate of white rice, jasmine, and then the other half was peas and cucumbers.
Ooh.
For lunch, I'll probably have something quite similar. I'm lazy in the kitchen most days, so I like to keep it simple, which we all know is best. Yeah, there you go.
That's going to be a prize. Somebody's going to want this for their prize.
Yeah. Exactly. Fridays is like the special day for us around here. So that's when I'll spend more time in the kitchen. So I usually do, I'll make pizza. So before I really got into spending more time in the kitchen doing special things like that, we would just order from our like local pizza place, obviously plant-based pizza, but there was, you know, a little bit of oil and stuff in it. So we're trying to stay clear of that completely.
You're the one that makes those amazing taco shells out of the smashed hash browns. I'm going to share the screen here, and I'm going to go find that for people to see this real quick. Hold on a second. Because this is one of my favorite things to do, and it's a variation of the potato crust that potato pizza crust that I do. But if I go over here to, let me find it. Manage groups. I don't manage that group. So let's see, I want to see more. How do I get to it? How do I get to your group? Let's see, Mary's.
Mini non-militant. There you go. Yep.
Right here. On here, if we go up and we search, let me move my little screen out, and I go here and I put Melanie right here. I'm sure I'll be able to put it up, but what's the name? There it is, right there, boom screen. Okay, y'all start drooling now. Check that out. Okay, so this is her. I saw her, that's how I first met her. I saw a picture similar to this several months ago. I went, oh my gosh, she's my new best friend. What is that? And so tell us how you make that.
Okay, so it's just like leftover potatoes, and it doesn't even matter how you cook them. I've used steamed potatoes. I've used potatoes cooked in the microwave. I haven't tried boiled, so I'm not sure how that would work out, but just basically leftover potatoes that I grate with just a regular cheese grater. And then, so they get really like sticky and goopy. So they stick together really well. And then I'll just wet my hands and push it down on like a cookie sheet. And then I bake it in the oven. I think it's at 400 for, oh shoot, now I got to remember how long. I think it was like 20 minutes. So like 15 on one side and 5 on the other. And yeah, so that it could work for like a pizza crust or shells.
And you don't add any spices. It's just the stickiness of the cooked potato, right?
The first time I made them, there was no spices. The second time I put like garlic powder, onion powder. I think I even put some maybe parsley or something in one time, but yeah.
That's
awesome. It's actually not a lot of work. It's actually very easy and it comes together very quickly.
That's wonderful, wonderful. Well, let me go back down here and stop the share for a second. Well, that's excellent. Yeah, there's so many different ways to make a potato, and I was going to post it in that other group and I totally forgot. But if you search on the topics, and again, if you guys are not familiar with that, right underneath the headings, there's a little topic section that you can go search for things, search for topics if they've been queued. And Beth has been excellent about looking at every single post. If I miss it, every single post, and making sure it's got a topic tag to it so you can find it. So you can go in there and look for pizza crust and it'll pop up, or you can go in there and look for broccoli and you know, 20 recipes about broccoli will pop up, you know, stuff like that. So that's very, very handy. I'm sitting here playing with a piece of yarn right now. Does anybody know why I'm playing with a piece of yarn? Did y'all see that post I put this week? I posted it back in October when we were still just a chit chat, and then I hope I got it onto the group, but I did put it there again this week. And it was talking about how to gauge your successes. And instead of, you know, relying on the scale or measuring tape or anything like that, just grab some yarn, okay, and measure. Now I've got a few of them here. This one is for my hips. So my hips, when I started out, were this wide. No, they were like half this wide. So still, that's a lot of hips if you are talking about side to side. That's a lot of hips right there. That is 3X right there. And so I measured my hips. I've got another one here that I did. I believe my belly button waist. No, that can't be it. This is probably my upper thigh. And then I did my above my knee. And then I did my arms. And the idea was to tape these on the wall and then do it again each month and see how short the yarns were getting compared to what they were before. And I just never got that far. And so when I saw that post, I wanted to talk about this today because I watched something yesterday, I think it was, that actually brought me to tears. And I want to talk about that for a second before we get to our Mr. Guest today. We put so much emphasis on the scale and measuring this, you know, measurements in inches. You know, Gina can tell you, you know, we can all tell you that, you know, there'll be days and weeks that we go without losing a single ounce on the scale, but our clothes fit better. We look better. We feel better. There's so many other benefits that we don't give ourselves credit to because that darn scale went up, you know, a pound or two, but we are looking better as if we'd lost a pound or two. And this is where we can prove that with how our clothes fit. That one pair of pants that you used to have to lay on the bed and suck your gut in and cry standing up, you know, to get on versus, you know, just being able to slide it on like Sam does when she doesn't even have to unzip it and she can just pull them up with, you know, one hand. So when we can do stuff like that, that shows emphasis. But I watched this thing, I want to say it was yesterday. It had to be this week, but this lady was at a gym and she'd been going for several months, and she got on, you know, national TV when she first started the program, very uncomfortable. And she weighed in, I think she said at 270 pounds. And she hadn't even told her husband that she weighed 270 pounds. And she was devastated that now she's in this, you know, reality show, and they put her on the scale, and now the world knows that she weighed 270 pounds. And so she'd been going to the gym, and she didn't lose any weight, or if she did, it was like a quarter of a pound. And she was very upset. And it was going on for several weeks of her being upset that she was working her butt off and tired and sweaty and driving into the gym and back and forth every day, and to have nothing really going on for her to be excited about. And her trainer did the most unique thing, and I'm going to try not to cry just thinking about it. He grabbed the scale that she was standing on and said, "Come here." And he drags her outside. She says, "Where are we going?" And it was like, you know, one of those, like, you'd think it was like one of those CrossFit places where they go in the back of the CrossFit building and start throwing semi-truck tires or something, you know? And he drags her out into the back with a sledgehammer. And she's thinking, okay, she's going to be like having to sledgehammer the tire, because they have these giant tires and they'll hit them with these big, huge sledgehammers, and, you know, the rebound and the muscle that takes to do a sledgehammer and, or pick up that tire and flip it. No, that's not what he had in mind. He takes her out there and sits that darn scale down and hands her the sledgehammer and makes her destroy it. Takes the sledgehammer to that scale and turned it to schmitherach. It was gone, destroyed. And he says, "I want you to stop getting on a scale. I want you to stop thinking that scale is your only success. You are not giving yourself credit for the fact that you started out not being able to walk around the block. Now you are walking, you know, miles a day." I think of Joy. Joy walks, you know, our mystery guest speaker from last month. Joy walks 20 miles a day, on a minimum about 16. It's incredible. There's another lady in the group that does 10. Beth and I started out doing 5. We worked our way up to 7. Now Beth is training for a half marathon. She's how old is Beth? 63? I think she's 63, and she's running for a half marathon weighing 108 pounds down from 204. I mean, these are accomplishments, and we are still so fixated on the fact that our scale went up or down in just micro nano movements. And so I'm talking about this because I want to go into our mystery guest, which we haven't interviewed yet today. And that's Debbie Day up in the top right-hand corner. And Debbie has, I met her. She is I believe the founder, moderator of that Mary's Mini non-militant group. And she's got a great little group. That's where I met Melanie as well. And they do the Mary's Mini on that page. And Debbie put her mind to doing it for 100 days. And she just finished this last weekend, right? Monday or Sunday. Yeah. And so she's going to tell us about that experience. And we're going to be able to ask her some questions about that. But she ate potatoes. Do you want me to show them the pictures now before you get started? Okay.
Sure, might as well.
Yeah, let's pop over here back to the screen share again. And we're going to go back over to this Mary's Mini non-militant group. And we're going to go to, how do I get this to go back up here? I want to search, I want to search this one. I want to search Debbie Day photos. All right, and I think it'll pop up this way. See all. So if I move this, let's put that down here. Okay, here's Debbie Day. This one I've had my eyeballs on for a couple of days. Can you tell me about that one?
Yeah, actually, that one's like the easiest soup I've ever made. It's just, I bought a bag of what's called soup mix vegetables, frozen. It's like parsnips, leeks, onions, carrots, celery, something I'm forgetting, I'm sure. Put a whole bag in, a carton of veggie stock, a full can of diced tomatoes, just some spices, boil it up, top it with nooch.
That is awesome. It's just so pretty. Let me see if I can do it this way. I want to get back to the home page here. Let me go back here. I want to do this a little differently. So I want to search here and just say Debbie Day, because I want you to see how she's got these presented. I think it goes, yeah, here we go. All right. if you go here, you'll see that there's just all these different ideas of meals that she's done. And we'll get into this a little bit more if she needs me to refer to something later on, but she posts all 3 of her meals. She does a lot of potatoes and peas. I did notice that.
My favorite breakfast.
That's her breakfast, potatoes and peas. And then, how do I get back to that? That's that one. I'm trying to figure out how to maneuver this and make it cool while I'm doing it. And it's hard with this little screen on the side here. So I think if I go back one, yes. And then it lets me go down again. Oh, I got to get this other little chat screen out of my way here. This one, she had cucumbers and potatoes. She's got the broccoli with the cheese sauce and the potatoes. Hers are very unique. They're always smashed down with a fork. So you can go, oh, that's Debbie's food. What's she eating today? You know, I've always noticed that. And then she's got, is this little chat box in y'all's way or is it just in my way? Is that?
I don't see it.
Okay, all right, so that's good. But you can see how simple these meals are. And she ate like this for 100 days. So without further ado, I'll have that ready for you to refer, if you want me to go in and pop up. We'll look at some more of those in a minute, but I'll try to figure out a cooler way to do it while I'm sitting here. But let's put this in different views so that we can talk to you a little bit. But tell us about yourself. Tell us what made you want to do 100 days of potatoes and vegetables, and tell us about you.
Okay, sure. Well, I'm in Toronto, so I'm a Canadian as well.
Woohoo!
Yay. I've basically been dieting my entire life. I'm going to be 51 in 6 days. And I went vegan overnight in 2012 after watching, do you know Dr. Joel Fuhrman?
Yes.
Yeah, I watched him on PBS and he talked all about like plant-based lifestyle and how it can help reverse disease. So my dad had everything. He had major heart attack and basically cancer took him at the age of 63. And I didn't want to go down that road. So after years and years and years of dieting, I decided to go vegan. Then I fell into the vegan junk food trap. And
processed soy, everything looking like it's supposed to be a piece of meat. Yes, those, I know that routine.
Yeah. So then I had heard about the starch solution some years back and I got the book and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this because I love potatoes. It's like my favorite food, obviously, right?
And it still is. After 100 days, you're still loving on potatoes?
100%. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good.
So I had given it a shot, but then I always found at dinner time, I'd go back to those faux meats and those processed nonsense. Anyways, so then I met my BFF, Melanie, who's on the call as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she and her family live the starch solution way. And she basically reintroduced me to it. And I'm like, yeah, I really want to do this. And then she had suggested trying a Mary's Mini together. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do that with you. Absolutely. So we did a 10-day one. And let's see. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I wrote it down here so I wouldn't forget. Let's see. So our 10-day one, I lost 4 pounds in 10 days. Then we did I did a 23-day one. She did a 30-day one and I lost 6.4 pounds.
Wow.
And then we did the 100-day challenge and I lost 16.8.
In that 100 days.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just incredible. I want to show you what her before picture is. We were sharing some pictures last night and I want you to see this. I had actually gone and found this. I was stalking her page and I found what I thought was the largest picture of her. And I was so happy when she sent it to me and it was the same one.
Oh,
so,
good.
Let me find that here. I'll find Debbie. I was busy inviting a bunch of people to the call this morning. And I want you to see Debbie's before picture right here. This is the one that I had selected.
Yeah.
And that is obviously not the Debbie we are looking at right there. Let me see if it'll give me the next one. Here's another one of her. This is just May of 2018.
Yeah.
And then we get a little bit closer. Let me see, maybe it's this direction. Maybe I have to cross out of it. Hold on. And then this is her full view now. And I know that shirt's too big for you, as are those pants.
Yeah, way too big now. It's
Yeah.
insane.
So, I mean, that's just here this last week or so, I'm sure, last month, I guess. So,
Yeah, couple weeks.
yeah, so being able to wear smaller clothes, look at these shoulders. The shoulders aren't even close to where they need to be here, let alone the fact that it's hanging on you like a drape. So this is incredible success. And then we were talking about measurements. I said, how many inches did you lose during that? And so she had her previous measurements and we wrote them down. She gave me here her chest, her waist and hips. She gave me her chest and hips and waist now. Well, as we do on our little contest sheets, we add up those numbers. We just take all those numbers and we add them up. So she started out on those just 3 measurements. She was 137 inches. Now she's only 118 inches. That's 19 inches lost.
Yeah.
That is incredible. And that's just on 3 measurements, you know? That is a lot of inches to have lost. And I'm so proud of you for doing that. So let me
Thank you.
So what did you find that you gained from that? Did you get bored with that many potatoes and eating the same thing all the time, or was that simple? That made it easy?
Oh, it was so easy. Just there was no thinking about it. It's like, okay, I know I'm having potatoes and vegetables with some condiments, you know, and sauces, whatever, fat-free, of course, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it made it easy.
Did you find that you had any health benefits improved? Did you have any other blood pressure, blood sugars, or anything like that this helped do?
Well, I used to have high blood pressure. I haven't had it tested recently, but I know I feel 100% better. Like I can now walk around the neighborhood without stopping. And just to go up, like I'm in the basement here, just to go up 10 stairs, I'd have to stop halfway and like catch my breath. Now it's like I'm going up and down the stairs on the phone. I can talk and walk, and I feel like a normal human being now.
That's awesome. So are you at a goal weight, or are you just continuing on and seeing what your body does?
Yeah, I'm going to continue on. Well, I started, my all-time high weight was 223, and I'm only 4'10". I'm really short. So, and I'm now 138.
Okay. I wondered how tall you were, because I think I saw you, was it next to your husband and maybe a son or something? And on when I was stalking your page, and I go, she comes from some really tall people, or she's tiny.
Both. I'm really tiny, and my ex is 5'11". So.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty tall. That's pretty tall. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you there. I hear you. Well, that's exciting. What other questions you guys have? Unmute yourselves and let's get some info out of Debbie. This is your time to ask her some wonderful questions and find out why we can't make it 10 days on a Mary's Mini without problems.
I have a question. When was your start date at the Starch Solution?
That was November the 14th. Yeah.
Of this last year, 2020?
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. Anybody else got a question?
What's your favorite way to eat potatoes?
Whipped. Absolutely. I love whipped. And if you throw some veggies in there too, all the better.
My husband's actually been eating mashed potatoes like we used to eat ice cream. And he'll whip them up and put some unsweetened almond milk in it and make them all fluffy wuffy. And he literally will eat them like ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do too. I shouldn't say him, because he makes me some when he doesn't. So I might turn down some fluffy wuffy potatoes. Well, that is so exciting. Let's go back and look at some of these pictures again and see if we can get some more information on some of these ideas you had, because they're just incredible. This looks like eggplant here. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yep, that's eggplant.
Yeah, that is amazing. It looks like you grilled it maybe.
Yeah, I had the ex put it on the barbecue and just topped it with some barbecue sauce.
I'm
Tasted like
impressed that
steak.
you're referring to your ex in the last 20 days, there 100 days that you're actually still barbecuing together. I think mine thinks I'm dead, but you know. But oh my gosh, that's wonderful to be able to still have a relationship where you can actually share a meal.
Yeah, well, we still live in the same house, so.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so then we're gonna go this way. This one looks like, oh yeah, so that's that, is that frozen Normandy blend?
It's frozen Japanese vegetables.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like a little sriracha sauce maybe on top.
Oh, yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, looks like you've been playing at Melanie's house. Melanie, she's got your recipe up here.
Yep. She has been the inspiration for basically all of my recipes. I don't know what I would have ever done without her, honestly.
So which one of you started the group? Because I know both of you kind of moderated a bit.
Yeah, Mel.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so I found it just by sheer accident because I'd been on one group, and when I saw yours was non-militant, I go, oh, that would be a relief because I got somebody chasing me around with like a baseball bat and breathing on me, you know? So, all right, so this
So
one.
I have a question.
Yes, Sam.
Do you, not you, Rosemary?
No,
but-
I mean, for Debbie. Yes, Sam.
Okay, you post your meals. Are you snacking also during the day and not posting those? Or
No.
No, not at all. So it's just your meals, bam, and you're done.
That's it.
Do you, I like to eat a lot. Like I was still eating this whole time.
Mhm.
And I probably could continue eating more, but I guess I'll stop right now. But
If you insist.
But have you started eating less now that you're, losing more weight, or are you still eating the same amount that you were eating when you started eating this way?
Well, those were pretty big platefuls. So I was very satisfied, but I found, okay, so this is my third day of being not on the Mary's Mini. And I have been indulging in things that I kind of have missed. Like I made oil-free, fat-free, well, not fat-free, but oil-free brownies. Oh my goodness. Those I got to watch out for. Those are deadly. So I've been, going a little bit overboard. So I'm going to have to reel that in a little bit.
We were talking about that last week. I had saved one little tiny, mini brownie that I made, and I just took the brownie mix and I mashed up a sweet potato, just like this one, just a cooked sweet potato. I mashed it up and then stirred in the brownie mix and then baked them, and they came out absolutely perfect.
Nice.
But if my husband and son hadn't been here to help me eat them over Easter, it could have been a disaster. I would have eaten the whole 24 mini muffins myself. So we talked about ways of freezing those and putting them in the back of the freezer and just pulling them out one at a time. And they're not as fun to eat when they're hard frozen. So you got to have a little patience for them to come out and just bring out one now and then and have a treat now and then. But when it's like all potato, there's no egg and no oil. It's sweet potato, and then the ingredients. And I'm sure there was some refined sugar in there. Baking powder, things like that, but it was very good. But on this picture right here, I know that's not bacon. Is that taco meat made out of cauliflower? What is that?
Yep, that's exactly what that is. Yep, that's another one of Mel's wonderful recipes.
What's the cheese sauce?
Cheese sauce, that's the potatoes, carrots, and onions. And then you blend that up with the water along with nutritional yeast, garlic powder, onion powder, salt. And I think that's it. That's all I can think of at the moment.
Yes.
Oh, and apple cider vinegar.
Oh, okay. That gives
Yeah.
that a little bit, but a bit of a cheesy flavor. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Melanie's cauliflower, the first time I saw it when she had the taco meat flowing out of there, I've done it a couple of times now, and my family loved it. We had tacos 2 days in a row, and it was an entire head of raw cauliflower that I put on the, like the cheese grater, just grated the whole thing up. I have one that you spin. And then you cook it in the cup of water with the taco seasonings, you know, just straight fresh taco seasonings. And you can make your own blend, or you can buy the little packet. There's usually no salt in them. And then you just cook it down like you would taco meat. And it looks like, tastes like, textures like taco meat. And it was absolutely amazing. And it's a go-to. It is absolutely going to be a go-to forever now, because it gives you that satiating flavor. I put just a little titch of liquid smoke in there as well, and that gave it even a more of a earthy ground kind of flavoring to it. Excellent idea. I know for my starches, when I'm doing the cheese sauce, I substitute the potatoes for cauliflower, and I'll do cauliflower, roasted red bell peppers, garlic and onion, nutritional yeast, and blend it up and make a cheesy sauce that is non-starchy when I do that too. But by adding this one on to the potato, that made it probably just delightfully satisfying for you. So that's amazing.
Oh yeah.
So sneaking down here, because she's got so many recipes. Oh, I like the smiley face. What do we do here? What's this? Is that
That is a potato cauliflower soup, and I topped that with nooch, of course. And then I made a smiley face out of sriracha and hair with chives.
I see the little hairdo up here. That's cute. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, here's some mushrooms on top of the mashed potatoes. So you can always tell it's her plate because it's got those forked smashed potatoes. About how many potatoes is that?
3 or 4.
They're like hold up your fist and tell me how big they are.
About the size of my fist.
So a medium size, those 4 medium potatoes. So that is a good size plate then.
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right. So that
And you
helps.
all in one sitting?
Yep.
Huh. Maybe that's why I thought I was eating a lot, but maybe I'm not.
So maybe what you can do, Sam, is some of those potatoes, just keep them whole and just bite them like I'm doing here, where you just pull them out and eat them. If you need a snack in between, just pop in the potato and just chew on it that way. I know that's what saves my thing. I've got my entire meat drawer is potatoes now, and I don't even put them in a Ziploc bag. They're just in there. So I can just open the drawer and grab that sucker. All right, so let's go over here. What's this one? Oh, jalapenos. Do you live in Texas? All right, so we got tomatoes, cheese sauce with carrots and jalapeno. That looks, I think I need to make that. That looks really good.
It's so good.
That looks really good.
Yeah, that was a
But
very
is that
happy
the
day.
potato cheese sauce also?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And you
There-
still lost all that weight in inches.
Well,
Yep.
remember, Dr. McDougall's favorite way to do this whole program is the starch solution method, which is 70 to 90% starch with just a little bit of vegetables on the side. A maximum weight loss is half starch, half vegetables. And then, of course, the Mary's Mini is this singular chosen starch with vegetables. And myself, I like the 50-50 plan because my microscopic blood tells me that we have to have more vegetables than, to make the blood perfect. And when we do the 50-50 plate, our blood turns out absolutely amazing. So I would love to have shown you, if I was at the clinic, maybe I'll try to be at the clinic next week when we do our video, because my assistant had been starting to eat this way. But one of the things that he had been doing is he missed the memo about not drinking processed juices. And he'd been drinking juice, not water, because they didn't have any purified water at their house. And so they were drinking juices, like we're talking entire bottles of grape juice and pineapple juice and apple juice and stuff like that. When I did his blood, it was horrible 2 weeks ago. Well, I showed that to him and told him what the tweaks he needed to make were. And when we did his blood yesterday, it was absolutely textbook perfect. He was so excited he could hardly stand himself. So I'll try to show you that next week, just to show you what that one little tweak can do. But by adding the vegetables, with the starches, we get beautiful blood in the microscope. Okay. So anybody see something here they want me to click on? Look at those peas. You must be keeping the frozen pea company in business, girlfriend.
To take out stalks.
Yes, take out socks in the frozen pea department. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that is one of our, we have found, and I just started doing this recently, where if I want something cold at nighttime, I'll eat a handful of frozen peas. They're like fun to chew
Wait.
on.
What's the one with, is that just beans with cheese sauce on top on the right hand side? Yeah,
This
that one.
I doubt it's beans because she's doing a mini. What is that one?
That's cauliflower potato soup.
Cauliflower potato soup, because on her she wouldn't have had beans in the last 100 days. She literally had only potatoes, and it sounds like parsnips got in there a few times, because parsnips would be starchy as well. But look at that.
What's the yellow on the top of the soup?
Yeah, that's nutritional yeast.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Have
You're
you done
welcome.
nutritional yeast yet, Sharon?
Hmm?
Have you tried nutritional yeast yet?
No, I bought it. I haven't used it. I really didn't know how to use it.
You just sprinkle it like you would Parmesan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it has kind of an earthy, cheesy flavor. But the reason why you see so much of it in our community is because it has all your B vitamins, and B12, for example, is something that our body needs. But the only way that people have been getting it is from eating meat, because the cows got it from that specific grass or whatever that they were eating, and something about how they transfer it. But nutritional yeast is not like fungal yeast like you get in like for making bread. It's not that kind of yeast. I don't even know why they use yeast. I would just call it nutritional flakes, and it would make more sense.
Okay.
It does have a lot of B vitamins, but Dr. McDougall and other research that I've done over the last decade plus is that if you're 100% pure, no cheat day vegan, and you've had no meat whatsoever, and after 3 years is when you would need to think that you needed to sprinkle some nutritional yeast or B12, into your diet. And so we're not in that category yet, because we do still, most of us, but we do love the nutritional yeast. So it lets us get all of our meals in, have that little bit of cheesy flavor. And I use that cheese sauce to put on mac and cheese, like a whole grain pasta that's just brown rice flour and water, or corn and water, or rice and water. And I put that on there, and I've got mac and cheese and don't have to feel guilty about it. Okay.
So last night I cheated, but not completely cheated. I had borracho beans from Mama Margie's. So basically I had 2 regular sized bowls, big bowls of borracho beans. I did not even pick out the bacon. I ate the bacon too, along with all the grease on top. Is that why seriously, okay, I know that tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I will lose back the 3 pounds that I gained from yesterday to today. But seriously, 3 pounds because I ate borracho beans?
So the borracho beans at Mama Margie's is full of sodium too, and it's going to be the white cheap salt. Your body's retaining a lot of water from that meal. And not only that, your body's going, hey, she just gave me bacon. What am I supposed to do with that? So it's trying to think what to do with that. It's in a stall mode, but we know that 2 bowls of borracho beans, which is beer and bacon and grease, we know that 2 bowls of that is not 3,500 calories times 3. So twice would be 7. So we're looking at 10,500 calories. No, you did not eat 10,500 calories worth of borracho beans with bacon on it. So your body's just retaining a little bit. You're going to see it, you know, the beans. Whenever I eat beans on this program, I promise you, I'm not going to poop well at all. Or we go into my P word. But when it happens, it happens. So wait for it. If you wait for it, it'll come. Look at this. I had to put this one up here because I love hearts. My husband and I collect hearts. And honey, there's a potato and pea heart over here. Can you see it? Did you leave? Oh, he's probably down in the other room where it's quiet because I'm talking really loud.
Pea heart.
But yeah, so this is, I love this one. I'm going to have to start shaping our mashed potatoes into hearts. He'll get a kick out of that. So, all right, scrolling down, here's some more. Look, there's some more of that tomato with that cauliflower taco meat on top. Oh my gosh, that is so delicious. I can't even begin to tell you how grateful I am for the mashed potato holds. Oh, look at that. That looks like pizza to me.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. How cool is that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was a wonderful day.
So I had, before I joined the Mary's Mini non-militant one, I had been in a group, or it might have been that group. I was on there and somebody had posted about the potato pizza crust, and he's in our group here, Mike Carnan, I think it is. And he, his recipe called for putting either cornstarch or something in there to stick it together. And I think Melanie's the one that came back and said that that's more of a condiment and it's processed. And so when she said that she could just literally press it down, it literally held. It was like, oh, well, I don't need that cornstarch or potato starch in there to stick it together. It holds up pretty good. You do want the potatoes to sit overnight, I did find out, because when they're fresh out of the boiler, they're a little bit too loose. They haven't bound to get that resistant starch. They're not as sticky. And so it works much better with the cold ones out of the fridge. So the ones I haven't tried it with yet, though, are the sweet potatoes. That might be a fun little wrap, or maybe turn it into like some sweet potato pancakes with that same kind of a concept.
Mm-hmm.
What's this one? Oh, similar. Yeah, look at that. That's mushrooms and cheese and tomatoes.
Yep.
So this one looks like a smorgasbord here. That cauliflower?
Yep, cauliflower wings.
So tell us how you did that, because when we went to Veggeria the other day, Viva Veggeria, I mentioned on the last call today, they do it light. They like dip them in almost like a cornstarch batter, but then they deep fry those suckers before they put the hot sauce on them, so they're just full of grease. So tell me how you did these.
Oh, that's the way I do them is way more simple. I just cut them into florets, coat them with sriracha, throw them in the oven.
You are my girl. We are on it. It will happen today. I promise.
Do it. Do it.
We have a new grocery store that they put in, and it is literally less than a mile from my house. There's like no excuse. I even got me one of those cute little old lady carts with wheels that I can carry my groceries in and go up and down the street with. So I am ready. I can go up there if I'm out of cauliflower. All right, see what else we got going on.
May I ask how long you cook the cauliflower for in the oven to make the cauliflower wings?
Yeah, so my oven, it seems to cook a lot faster than a lot of other people that I know. So I left it in for about 15 minutes and then I turned it and it was about 5 minutes and then it was done. So very quick.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Then it's just the regular oven?
Yes.
Then at what temperature?
400.
400. Okay. All right. That is beyond cool. Let's try this over here. Anybody else see anything that's catching their eyes? But look, this is what she ate. And you might say, wow, that's all the same color. It's just potatoes, but she's still smiling at potatoes. Look at that face. She's smiling at potatoes. She's
all right. There is a dish. It looks like it has carrots, but it has a brown, almost like gravy on.
Right there.
Yeah.
Over to the left, that one.
This one? Okay.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
That I only made it once. I found it on YouTube, I believe, and it's just a gravy made out of basically blended mushrooms and spices.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was very good.
And it
But
looks like it's
not enough to make it again, or would you have changed it? a
Well,
little
I've
bit?
got such a crappy little blender. It took so much time that it shouldn't have, but it really took a long time. So that's basically why I didn't make it after that. But I would totally make it again if I had a better blender.
And is this part of your potatoes underneath here or cauliflower?
Yep, that's potatoes.
Okay, and then carrots over here.
Yep.
Okay. Looks like you got some down here. It had a little leftovers, it looks like.
Oh, yes.
We've been doing air fried potato wedges just for snacks. I mean, it's like better than popcorn. Much better
Absolutely.
than popcorn for sure, for sure, for sure.
Now, do you have to pre-cook the potatoes before you put them into the air fryer to make the wedges, or what? I'm not a cook at all. That's why I'm asking.
So the preferred way, and we'll go back to the resistant starch. So a regular potato is going to have a higher glycemic index, more sugar, more spike on your sugar, your blood sugar. Whereas if you take that same cooked, whether it's boiled, I put mine in the crock pot dry and just put them in there, sweet potatoes and regular potatoes. I'll show you a picture in a second. I just let them cook for like on low for 8 hours or high for 4. And then when that whole pot's done, I let them cool off and then I throw them in that bottom drawer of the refrigerator and they're just there for me to grab. But by putting them in the fridge, and I think the minimum, if I heard correctly, was like 6 hours, is that the potato goes from that fluffy wuffy high sugar glycemic index down to a lower resistant starch that is slower in digestion. It doesn't like spike into your blood sugar. It takes a longer time for it to break down. And it also converts to a form of a type of like potato protein as well. So you're going to get more protein content out of that. For those that have been curious, and I'm going to save this, I'm going to open up a different screen. So I want to come back to this one without losing it. I'm going to go back over here to Facebook. I want to show you, or maybe it's not Facebook where I want to go. Hold on a second. It's over here. Da-da, da-da, da-da. There we go. Da-da-da-da. Okay, so this is my ebook. And if you see right here, let me find it. Here we go. So this, I've shown this before, but this is really important. I want people to see this. When they worry about protein, spinach is 49% protein. And if you were to hold up your fingers and from your palm to the top, your thumb and your fingers all squished together, that is the size and equivalent of 100 calories of meat, whether it's fish, beef, chicken, pork, whatever, that's 100 calories. But usable protein in that is only 20%, put down the thumb. My entire career is trying to get this much unused, undigestible, unbeneficial protein out of your body. Because what it does inside the body, and I can show you the crystals that it leaves here. In fact, let me just show you that real quick and we'll come back to this one. Let me see if it shrinks down so I can find it again. Yep, it shrinks down. All right, so going over here to, where's blood types? Let's see, find it. Da, 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 da. My thing got rearranged. Where are they? If we go over here, so I'm working on some curriculum. I think let's try this one. So I'm working on the curriculum. Let me just go find it real quick to show you what happens in the blood and why I'm trying to get it out of there. You can see this real quick. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Let me go find it. Let's see here. That's one of my clients and I. This is a client that I have to show you this picture because it's just too cute. She was given 90 days to live with multiple myeloma, which is protein cancer of the blood. And 3.5 years after she was told she was supposed to die, she asked me if I'd go to California to celebrate. So we went to California and celebrated. That was just too much fun. So we were having a little bit more fun. This is how the blood stacks together when there's too much protein in the plasma. This is the blood just a week later after making a few tweaks. You know, different things that we can change. But I want to show you what the crystals look like here, if I can find it. Bacteria, cholesterol, crystals. Okay, let's look at crystals. All right. The black crystals here are associated with fermented protein. So you see all these black crystals in this one, this big chunk of black crystals here. That's what I'm trying to get out of your blood. We should only see blood that looks like, wait for it, find it, right here. This is my blood. This is healthy live blood, just little simple round helium balloon circles floating through the blood. And the dry blood should be red with black lines. Now you'll notice I've got some little tiny white dots here, which are showing adrenal stresses. I can't imagine having adrenal stresses. I've got, you know, 2 companies I'm running. I've got, you know, 12 kids and 24 grandkids that I worry about constantly. So that's what the blood's supposed to look like, minus these little white spots, okay? Now we go down here, get back to those crystals. Right here. Okay, so we got the black crystals, and then we have blue crystals, which are associated with secondhand smoke and environmental toxins. I've got some other secondhand smoke and related that are like half the screen, like this whole picture is just black fuzz from smoke and secondhand smoke. Yellow or brown crystals is usually gluten. All right. Greenish crystals is turquoise. This turquoise color here, that's dairy, undigested, unprocessed dairy. And notice here that their blood is all melded together. Like there's no individual cells there. They're just melded together and blurping across my screen. And that's typical of somebody who's drinking a lot of coffee, or specifically like the monster drinks, the high energy, 5-hour energies and things like that. Or they're taking a liver cleanse supplement or something like that. There's no individual cells like this to be able to even carry oxygen from the head to the toe. Yellow's my favorite color unless I'm seeing it in my microscope. And these are associated with rotting animal proteins, often seen in clients with clinically diagnosed symptoms of gout, arthritis, or inflammation. None of these things belong in the blood. I only want to see individual cells in the blood and white blood cells that are healthy and happy. Here's red, which usually indicates infection. You know, square crystals or round crystals. I haven't finished this page yet, but they're highly related to like stress and stress related. Sugar crystals that look like snow. I mean, oh, here we go. Here's tobacco. See right there, that big old gray patch there? That's what tobacco looks like when I see it floating in the blood. These little round black fuzzy patches is actually from a 1-year-old 3 weeks after visiting her grandma and grandpa, who insisted that while they were holding her, they were outside and blowing away from her. Well, I'm sorry, it still blew back in her. And 3 weeks later, it was still a problem in her blood. So that's why uric acid crystal looks like shards of glass, things like that. So that's why we you know, kind of focus on this kind of thing. And that's why my whole job is like that. So if we get back over here to this one, I want to go back over here. So when we were talking about, you know, the protein being just this much and only this much is usable, if that's all I'm going to get out of the meat, because that's what the animal ate, for example, a cow, he's not eating another cow to get his protein, he's eating grass. So let's skip the nonsense that I'm trying to get out of the blood and just eat the vegetables, right? So here's spinach at 49%. I can't split this middle finger in half, but that's basically half is protein. But what's unique about spinach is it's 100% usable. Whether it's the vitamins, the chlorophyll, the fiber, all of that is beneficial. So that 49% spinach isn't even telling all the story. That's just the protein amount, but that's 100% usable. Broccoli is 47. Tofu, I'm not a fan of processed soy. unless it is organic and non-GMO, and also if it is for women that are past childbearing years. I don't like it for young moms, and I don't like it for girls. But leafy green lettuce, 40. Do you see the difference here? Going all the way down here to lemons. Who knew there was 13% protein in lemons? Who knew that, you know? So we are not lack for protein at all. What we are, when we were eating, you know, not plant dominant, we were eating meat, what we were was over muscle saturated. Your body can't burn protein. It can only burn fat or sugar. So it's going to take a lean chicken breast that a lot of my clients that come in that have diabetes, you know, like going, I'm living on chicken breasts and vegetables, chicken breasts and broccoli. Why is my number still so high? And I said, well, because there's no fat for your body to use as fuel in that lean chicken breast. There's no sugar in that lean chicken breast for your body to use as fuel. So your body has to convert it to something it can use. And the body's default is sugar. Thus, the sugar spike is still continuing. But you take that same individual and you take that chicken breast out of their diet and any other meats that they were eating. So many people come in and they think as a diabetic, for example, that they need to have the keto diet and live on, you know, meat, bacon, and cheese. And as soon as we take those away and we replace them with a whole food, starch resistant potato, something that's been cooked and sat in the fridge for at least 6 hours, usually overnight. Potatoes, sweet potato, rice, beans, lentils, oats, quinoa, all the stuff that we enjoy in this lifestyle. And you replace that meat, fat, and oil with those foods, and their blood sugars go, whoop, and they are mind blown. They just don't even understand how that was even a possibility or how that happened. So, so basically what we want to focus on is the fact that we are getting plenty of protein and not having any issues of that whatsoever. And I know we want to wrap up here real quick. So let me go over here one more time to her page just to see if there's anything else you want to have her tell us about. I think it's right here. Yes, here we go. Let me move this back. You see anything else on here that you guys want to grab her while she's here? You're welcome to join her group. Just go search for Mary's Mini Non-Militant right here. Mary's Mini Non-Militant, and I'm sure she'd love to have you on there. So if it's a great place to be when I was doing the Mary's Mini and getting ideas. But oh my gosh, look at all that yumminess. And the fact that she's not bored from it yet. Is your family freaking out now that you're eating other things this week?
Not really, no. Actually, I put potatoes in every dinner, so.
Okay. Sauerkraut. I love sauerkraut. That's a good digestive aid for an occasional use. I try to keep the bacteria low, but I do love organic sauerkraut. That's awesome. I like to put sauerkraut in my salad and use it like a salad dressing and just stir in a spoon of sauerkraut. And it gives just enough moisture and flavor to that salad that it just makes it wonderful. Samantha put mustard on her salad the other day, and I'm like going, oh, the sky opened and the angels sang. I mean, I didn't even think about putting mustard on my salad. So lots of diced tomatoes. There's that creamy cheese sauce. Look at that.
So good.
Mm-hmm. And game changer is what we call it, because I'm telling you what. Oh, whoa, tell me about this. Is that yours?
No.
Oh, that was somebody else's. Okay, it looks like she did what she put over here. Not sure. I'm not seeing if she's got the recipe, whatever that was. Oh, okay, so here she goes. She did homemade McDougall compliant borscht, which is garlic, onions, potato, cabbage, beets, and carrots. She blended it slightly with a stick blender, then diced it up over, put it over leftover boiled yellow potatoes, seasoned it with chili and garlic powder and a bit of Bragg aminos. Roasted it for 425 in the toaster oven, 10 minutes, flipped it over and let it go for about another 5. Topped it with the borscht. So that's the borscht, which is the blended. I think that's a cold soup. garlic, onions, potatoes, cabbage, beets, and carrots. That's cool. All righty. Well, any other questions for our wonderful, wonderful guest today? We're so excited that you were able to join us. We hope you'll come back. I want to make sure that you know that you're welcome to participate, and please post. I mean, anything that you're posting on your page, if you can dupe it over, it'll save me having to screenshot and steal it from you. So you'll go to the page and you'll see several.
I have one last question for Debbie.
Yeah.
Do you, okay, we've already talked about how the scale is not our friend, but do you have a goal weight loss or goal weight that you want to be?
You know what? I'm honestly just judging by how I feel, how the clothes are feeling on me. I don't want to focus on a number, but if I had to focus on a number, I'm going for about 100 pounds because I'm only 4'10".
Yikes. That's
Yeah,
such
so
a
I'm 5'4" and so is Beth. And when she started getting down close to the 120s, we thought that was the end of all ends. And when she kept going and got down to 116 and then 114 and then 110, and now she's fluctuating between 108 and 110, I was getting concerned, so much concern that I actually contacted the McDougall Medical Center and asked if that was okay and how could I help her to not go overboard. And I had just started the McDougall 12-day program at that point in January. And I got to meet with Dr. Lim, who is fantastic. He's probably my favorite McDougall staff member. He's just so personable, and just bedside manner is just amazing. Zoom side manner. But he calculated out for my 5'4" that he wanted my goal to be 120 pounds. And I'm like going, booyah. I got married to my husband almost 30 years ago at 124 pounds. So I know I've done it, and I've been, 230, 250 pounds for years and years before that. And so I got there once, I can do it again, but this time it's going to be the healthy way and not the stress, version. And I'm just looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to getting down to that healthier weight, and your body will take it off when it's ready. It might go a little slower for some. It might go fast for others. I mean, Beth's came off so quick. That was probably my first concern, and she knows this. But she was walking and jogging and exercising. I mean, she would do her exercise bike or recumbent bicycle while she watched a movie each night for at least an hour and a half, in addition to walking, 5 to 7 miles in the morning. So that, on top of eating just potatoes and vegetables, the weight just, so not being able to have that much time available to dedicate to exercise, I have to rely on the food. And I'm just now, I'm going to be 60 in June, and I'm just now incorporating exercise. My kids are like freaking out that I'm incorporating exercise, and it's like, what? My son that lives here, and it's like, we had the carpets cleaned yesterday, and they were putting the furniture back, and I have a elliptical over there by the back window, and I have a mini trampoline, and I have a whole body vibration system and a recumbent bicycle. Why am I not sitting on them? I mean, I could rotate one every night and I would be doing something different. But my tendency is to eat too late. When I leave the clinic at 6 o'clock, it's just so late by the time we eat. And so that needs to be a shift in my life. So I told my assistant, I says, please don't give me any appointments after 4 o'clock, because I need to book out of here and get home and get dinner done so that I can eat and be done for the day, So that's kind of where we're at in that part right now. But we've gone almost 2 hours. That's how exciting it was to talk to Debbie today. I'm so happy that you were able to make it.
Thank you so much.
Hope you can come back again, and we're anxious to see your progress and your before picture and how you are now. I mean, you just have to smile just walking past the window and seeing your reflection and go, hey, that's me.
Who is that?
Yeah, you did that. So that is pretty exciting. So any other questions or comments for Debbie? Don't
Thank
forget
you
to
for
hit
being
those.
there today.
Pardon me?
I said, thank you for being here today and being an inspiration.
Aw, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yes, and I'm going to,
Debbie, this is great. You definitely are an inspiration. Thank you
Oh.
so much.
Thank you so much for saying that.
I'm going to go back over here to the, I don't know if it'll let me, if I can scroll down here. I was trying to get it to show you, no, it's not going to let me. I was trying to get it to show you how to save this chat, but I will save it here and then I'll try to copy and paste it onto the group in our notes when we post today's video. These videos, oh, I forgot to tell you, Debbie, oh my gosh, I should have clarified. We do, for the hearing impaired, we save these up to YouTube on my YouTube channel so that it will do the English closed captions, and then we post it back to the group. So do you have any opposition to being on YouTube? Are you okay?
I'm good with that.
Okay, excellent. And you can very easily just copy that link and share it with your group or whatever you want, or I can share it with them, whatever you want to do. But I think it's going to be a really good opportunity for them to see. I mean, this is possible. And Melanie, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yay.
Didn't you do something similar? You just finished a Mary's Mini. How long was yours?
The last one, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, the last one was 40 days.
40 days. Okay.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal, phenomenal. So, okay. I know Gina did one. Gina, are you still with me?
No, she's gone.
She's gone. Okay. She just did one for quite a ways too. And she's got a very specific goal. She's got a trip with her husband for her anniversary coming up in a couple of months. And so she's really been getting at it and doing very well. But she's did a Mary's Mini for, I think, I want to say 10 or 20 days. And she did very well. So I go into the 10 days, and then somewhere along there, I have so many clients that I have to eat with, either with them out or at their home, depending on if I'm traveling or not. And I have to, but it's always compliant. I always try to be very compliant. So they may be having rice, or we might go to like yesterday, I was with a client at Ginza Japanese noodle shop, and we lived in Japan for 3 years, so I'm obsessed with Japanese food. And so I had their noodle bowl, and instead of having the regular noodles, I had rice noodles, and it had a miso broth sauce with or just broth with vegetables in it, and it was broccoli and cauliflower and carrots and onions, things like that. So it's still a compliant meal. It's just not potatoes when I'm trying to do the mini. So, all right, guys. Well, I will get busy on uploading this. Have it ready.
Real quick, how do we get replays?
Of this one here on my group. Have you joined the StarchLady Facebook group? Okay, so on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, let me show you where the YouTube channel is so you can see how it looks. Let me share screen here with you real quick. And I think it'll let me do it. So if you go to YouTube, my YouTube channel is called Health Natural Solutions. And you'll see the blood drops up at the top. And then you'll see all these videos that I've done, because I've been doing since I started this, I've been doing several of the cooking videos here on YouTube. So this was our last guest speaker. This is when I first started recording them and putting them on here. So this is episode 11 with Joyanne. And Joyanne had, like I said, lost 150 pounds. She's kept it off for about 4 years now. She walks almost 16 to 20 miles a day. And so then we just started recording them because the closed caption has helped the entire deaf community. And Beth is a deaf translator. And so she had a lot of friends that were missing out because they couldn't hear what we were saying. So now we put it on here and it translates it for them. And so all these videos here, cooking videos and things that I have, are available for you to watch at any time. And they go back to even before I had started doing the cooking channel. And I think the cooking channel started right about here with my sweet potato waffles 11 months ago. Okay. So all these videos here are new. I'm also on Instagram. So this is Health Natural Solutions is what you're looking for here. And it's all together. Health Natural Solutions with no space is how you're going to get to my channel on YouTube. There's no spaces there. And then if you go over to Instagram, on Instagram, I have been really good. It's the Starch Lady all together with no spaces, the Starch Lady. And I have almost exclusively started here with my posts, and all my recipes are here. This was fun. This is a hash brown omelet. I did it like Melanie and Debbie do, with smashing the hash browns down and making that base. And then I built an omelet just like it would have been an omelet, with all the vegetables that are sauteed and mushrooms on top. And then I think I added sriracha or cheese sauce to that after I took that picture. This was fun. I took this wall in my kitchen that's right there by the refrigerator. It's a kind of a chubby little wall. All it was on there was a light switch, and I had the handyman come in there and pop it open and put shelves in there, put all my dried goods and potatoes and stuff on it. That was kind of fun. But yeah, you can see all of these different recipes here, and that's the Starch Lady without any spaces. Okay, well, looking forward to seeing you guys next week, same time, same bat channel.
I just followed you. I didn't even realize you were following me on Instagram, so I followed you back.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Pop up there. It's like, oh, I want to be their friend. That sounds so fun. So I'm excited about that. Okay. All right. Well, guys, I will talk to you later. Love you bunches. You are my people, and we've got it. We can do it this week, right? Okay. And any particular goal we want to work on? Are we going to try to maybe all of us try to not eat past 7 o'clock? Do we want to try that one this week?
That sounds good.
Let's try that one and just stick to, if we have to eat after 7 o'clock, maybe we can make it a broth or something that's liquid that's not going to like make our digestive system go wackadoo. Okay. All right. That's our goal this week. Let's try it. Pinky promise. Let's do it. We can do it. We got it. We got it. Okay, good. All right. Talk to you guys later. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Rowe. Okay, bye. Bye.